Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Whistle Pig Palace, and we are near Bar Harbor, Maine this week. So, fair warning, the entire first part of this video is going to be about the best thing to see by Bar Harbor, and that's Acadia National Park.
Now, it's important that you plan your journey because the park is really busy. So, what we did is we said, okay, want to do hikes at sunrise, hikes at sunset, and then we're going to hide from the UV index, that's the third picture, for the rest of the day because that sun will burn your face.
Another thing about doing it this way is that you will oftentimes avoid the crowds. So when you go on the hikes, you'll have a little bit of that peace and solitude that you're looking for.
This one, you have to pay attention to the tide. So we're actually walking on ground that's usually covered by the ocean, but the tide went out, at like 8 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
So you can still see the fog rolling in, and you can literally walk from Bar Harbor to the island. Super cool.
This looked like we were on another planet. It was super crazy. I have never walked across the ocean floor. That's what we're doing here. And it was weird to look at this hike after we had been out there and been on it, and then look and see the island that we walked to. It was completely covered by ocean. So weird.
After we finished our first stop, we headed over to the visitor center. Got to see what's good. We asked about boat tours. They had two, but we decided not to go on either of them. They're like 3 to 4 hours long.
Had to go in there and get some postcards too. We love sending postcards back to our friends and family. Helps us feel connected. So you always gotta go check them out.
The visitor center was not as cool as the new River Gorge one. None of them are anymore. We did get to book our spot to drive up Cadillac Mountain to avoid traffic jams now. They make you make a reservation.
But this is the view from the top, so you can see the reservation system making you have a better view. Thanks, National Parks.
Okay. We're not getting paid for that. But Emily, what did you say about the sunset or the sun?
So Cadillac Mountain is actually the first place that the sun rises in the continental United States, but not currently. Not while we were here. It's only for months like October through maybe February.
We packed a lunch, we had a great view, and then we kind of rested for a while before going to our next hike. So we came back into the park around 5 p.m. and had Jordan Pond all to ourselves.
Jordan Pond was super cool. It's just a loop around the lake. It doesn't have a lot of elevation gain. It does have some light bouldering, but basically you just get views from all sides of the lake.
So those two round things you're looking at, I guess in the picture on the right, those are called the Bubbles, one of the most photographed places in the park. What we really loved about this trail was the different, media forms of walking. So they had these like bridges that we're on right now over rough terrain to like stop the degrading of the coastline.
They had bouldering we talked about. They also had just a nice easy walk-in gravel and dirt path. A lot of bridges too. A lot of bridges.
It was very beautiful. And again, go at 5 p.m. Look at the sunset. It's great.
I can't imagine if that place would have been crowded on the boardwalks. That'd have been a nightmare. A thing you're supposed to do in Acadia National Park is get popovers from Jordan Pond House Restaurant, but we couldn't eat outside with the dogs due to bees.
Speaking of bees, so this was our second day morning hike because this is one of the most popular hikes in the park. This is us at the top of the Beehive Loop Trail.
We couldn't believe we made it.
So it's only supposed to be 1.5 miles, but we'll show you the ladders in a second. We decided we did not want to climb the ladders. We were going to come up the back way, which is like going upstairs for over 1 mile. Okay, so there's a picture of the ladders in yellow. So you're putting your foot and you're climbing up those rungs. But to your back is this giant overlook. So you're literally on this cliff face climbing up these iron rungs. And I really wasn't into it. So you can see here I also put a little map of the elevation of how hard it was.
And when she says steps, they're not steps. They're boulders. This is a picture of them.
This is another shot from the top of Beehive, and it was so amazingly beautiful here. I think I even told you, like, we have to get a calendar of beautiful pictures from Acadia. Is it your favorite national park now?
That's a hard question. We haven't decided. The jury's still out. After all that hiking, get us some local fare. Live Maine lobster. Now, this is from a lobster pound, which just means that they have tanks that they run fresh seawater through to hold the lobsters in. Keep them alive, basically. A little like a dog pound until they get eaten by hungry customers.
Oh, God!
But this was delicious. It was some of the best lobster we've had, I think. We had one cold and one hot lobster roll there. I think my favorite was the hot.
Now, that finishes Acadia and Bar Harbor. This is Bangor, Maine. Look at Stephen King's house. He has little bats and like spider webs. It was so cool in like the slightliest creepy way. This was outside his house. You can see animals and books, and it's just like an old tree that they carved into that. Super cool. Also, I'm going to talk this whole time because Em doesn't know anything about Stephen King.
One time I watched Pet Sematary.
In the book version, they fight the clown in the Thomas Mill standpipe. And this was right down the street from Stephen King's house. This is the drain that inspired it. And this was also right down from his house. Basically, we went to his house and then we walked around a little tour.
And then we went and looked for some rocks. I normally can't talk Malin to go into a rock shop, but this had some other curiosities.
Beautiful shop, yes. You're not going to tell them about how you tried to buy those animals in jars?
The dead skunk. Onto another trail. This area just had tons of them. But this one was very cool because it went over do they call it a living bog? Is that the thing? They put this boardwalk up so that you will not trample the protected habitat. But it was super cool because you were walking through this like forested bog, and then it opened up to like a bog.
For those of you from Nebraska watching, it kind of gave me vibes from like the Henry Dorley Zoo because there was water underneath us, and they had signs up all over about how, was it the University of Maine?
Mm-hmm.
They had like educational cooperation that they like go out and study things in the bog. But you walk through the terrain, part of it's forested. I don't know, could go on and on about it.
And then you eat the whoopie pie.
Whoopie pie!
I knew you were going to do that. This is the official dessert of Maine, so you have to have one if you go here. It's basically just 2 cookies with cream in between, but they'll vary the cookies, they'll vary the cream.
We had them frozen. We had a blueberry one and a pumpkin spice one.
Yeah. God, they were so good frozen. Better than an ice cream sandwich.
Well, the store wasn't the cutest, but damn it, we had one.
This place had the best beer. This place had the best food. This place was great. Y'all should go.
And actually, we're lying. This is not in Bangor. It's in Westbrook. But oh my gosh, it's so good.
And they had not a bad beer, but also they had Nighthawk's Kitchen in there. Cooking food was great.
Yeah, dinosaur kale salad changed my life. Anyway, so this is us just driving around the cornfields now.
We're heading back home for the holidays, but we're going to be making a couple stops on our way back. Don't worry. 2 more national parks to come.
Cuyahoga National Park is up next. Probably not this week, but next week we'll have a video.
We're having a lot of heavy travel days where we're pulling like 8 hours a day. So
awful.
This is so long.
This is all we're looking at. So now you get to look at it too.
Drone footage. Who flies drones?
Bye.